Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. So, warning, Bitcoin rarely does this, but it's about to do it. So let me explain what that is and how significant it really is. And also, let's talk about what's going on in the U.S. market today. The market bell has just rung, so let's do this. Welcome, guys. There is the market bell, the best bell in the industry. We start out with Bitcoin still holding steady right around 30,000, slightly under. Today, the U.S. market looks like it wants to be in the green once again. NASDAQ is at a year high. Tech is rallying, so things are looking better, and that's fantastic. Including especially the crypto-related stocks. You look at Coinbase, it's up another 3%, and then you have Riot that's up about 2%. So let's see what these guys do. But still, there's a lot of rallying these days, right, in the U.S. market. I don't know about other markets. I'm assuming so. I saw this morning for those of you guys in the U.K. Inflation cools off slightly. I know in the U.S., inflation has come down quite a lot for us because Powell is so aggressive with his rate hike. But in the UK, it's cooling off, but still high. CPI is 7.9%. Core inflation is 6.9%. Okay, so I mean, this gives some relief to Bank of England. But again, Bank of England has not been raising rates nearly as much as the Federal Reserve, right? So kind of makes sense, but overall, I think this is net positive for an entire world. You're seeing inflation starting coming down, mostly due to decrease of energy. Okay, the cost has gone down, and plus supply chain problems that existed years ago, for the most part, have resolved themselves. So these two things have brought down prices quite a lot. But you know, things like food and services still quite elevated, even though starting to see them come down a little bit as well. Overall, we're moving in the right direction. We're definitely moving in the right direction. Crypto market cap today has gone up slightly too. Bitcoin is barely in the green, but you still have guys like XRP now. That's above 80 cents, and Cardano and Solana both having good days, up 4% today. You have others, like Stellar, that's up 10%. Yeah, so overall today is starting out pretty nice. What else is going on? Well, crypto investors are definitely coming back full force. Okay, a lot of interest ever since BlackRock, right? I'll get to that a little bit. But Bitcoin ETPs, which are similar to ETFs, there's a lot of ETPs around the world, and we're starting to see inflows, money flow into them by quite a lot. In fact, close to a billion, 25,202 Bitcoin, 760 million, so close to a billion, right, has come in within the last few weeks. Ever since BlackRock announced they were going to get involved with a spot Bitcoin ETF, right? And this kind of shows you how early things really are for not only Bitcoin, but for all of crypto, for Web3 in general. I mean, you look at, these are things that we use, right? Obviously, the telephone, electricity, cars, color TV, air travel, right? Video games, social media, smartphone. With every innovation, the adoption curve is decreased, right? But obviously early on for electricity and cars and I don't know what else is there. The fridge, radio, they took a while before getting to 100% adoption, right? They took decades upon decades, or even a full century before reaching mass adoption. Okay, but obviously the technology like, the internet, and then cell phones, social media, smartphones, tablets, their adoption rate is much faster. But look at Bitcoins, right? Like as much as we think Bitcoin, you know, as much as we think Bitcoin has reached maturity, let's say, okay, we're nowhere close, okay, to 100% adoption, nowhere close. 20% adoption, nowhere close. I don't even know what percent adoption. Worldwide adoption, maybe 1% at most, right? But imagine when Bitcoin is adopted by 20% or 40% of the world, right? It's going to be a very different landscape. And when Web 3 takes over, and Web 4 and Web 5, when decentralization and self-custody and I don't know what else, when all these things take over, right? Mostly decentralization, but when our future dApps are all going to be powered by the blockchain or powered by Ledger and will allow you to have true ownership over your currency, your money, your assets, your even in-game items, right? It's going to be very different in the future. But right now, we are just so early. And that's great because while it's early, you could get in cheap, right? That's the whole point. Sharks and whales have accumulated 71,000 more Bitcoin in the last 3 weeks. That's a lot, okay? So it's not just money flowing into ETPs I just covered, and there will be billions upon billions to trillions flowing into spot ETFs when they come out. But right now, there are definitely a lot of you guys are shrimps and whales, right? You guys have been accumulating 71,000 Bitcoins within the last 3 weeks. See, this is the time to be accumulating while things are still cheap. Right? Later on, they won't be. When that adoption curve for Bitcoin starts growing, Bitcoin may be over $1 million each by then. Okay, it is the scarcest asset, the hardest asset we have known to man, and it's the only non-sovereign asset that we have also. No one controls it. No one. No single entity, no single country, no company, no individual controls Bitcoin. And that's very different from everything else, right? And then this is what I want to show you guys. This is what Bitcoin is about to do, and it rarely crosses. You can see Bitcoin's history. It's only been 3 times when Bitcoin has crossed the SMA 100 weekly. Okay, it's kind of like, it's kind of one of those moving averages. That's very important. If you look at the bigger picture, the longer scale, when Bitcoin crosses below, it's negative. It's not good. But when it crosses above, it's really good. And it stays really good for quite a long time. Quite a long time, right? 2012, when it happened, Bitcoin went up 45,000%. Then in 2017, when it crossed, went up 5,000%. All right. 2020 happened, went up 1,000%. So what is it going to be this time, right? May not be 1,000%. It may be 500%. Well, 500% would still be pretty darn good. That would push Bitcoin up to around 200,000 for this cycle. But maybe it's not 500. Maybe it is a 600, 700, 800, or maybe it is 1,000%. That would push Bitcoin to over $300,000, right? But rarely does this happen for Bitcoin. And it's about to happen right now, okay? It is very close, imminent. So this is one of those moments you don't want to miss out on. It truly is. And there's other moving averages like the 200 moving average, and there's other ones that people look at, right? But this is one of those ones where it's about to happen once again. So very bullish indeed. But, if you don't believe in all the charts and moving averages and signals, we'll believe in this. The hash rate of Bitcoin, part of the growing fundamentals, keeps on going up. The miners keep on mining and churning away and discovering more blocks, and every Bitcoin that they get, they hodl. They don't sell any of that. So even though 95% of Bitcoin has been mined and there's 5% left to be mined, we're never going to see those 5%. You'll never see any Bitcoin with like a fresh Bitcoin with no transaction being released. These guys are keeping it all. So everyone is just fighting over. I think people don't realize that. Everyone's fighting for what exists. And what exists is really a small number. You still have you have these large whales early on that's been holding. You have large amounts of Bitcoin that has been lost over time. And now you have large number of institutions holding their Bitcoin. And you have ever-growing retail investors that keep on holding and DCing. So what exists out there for sale is actually really, really small. That's why whenever I bring up reserves on the exchanges, it just keeps plummeting. It's just doing this now. It's plummeting, and one day people will realize the ones that have not gotten in, the ones still sitting on the sidelines waiting for something, okay, they will realize that they missed out on an opportunity of a lifetime, okay? These kind of opportunities don't come very often, but I believe Bitcoin is one of them. And even at $30,000, it's still an opportunity of a lifetime. But people that keep waiting and does not believe, they will miss out. They will miss out like they missed out on everything else. All right. Also, a couple other things. I saw OKX Wallet. OKX is one of the larger exchanges. They have their own wallet. They have just added staking for Bitcoin and BRC tokens, but not what you think. They're not giving out Bitcoin or USDT or anything like that. They actually have their own BRC20S token that they will be releasing, right, for people that stake their Bitcoin and BRC20 tokens. Interesting. I don't think anyone's going to be staking their Bitcoin, but if you do have BRC20 tokens, and there are a lot of them, I have not kept up with them, but if you have a lot of BRC20 tokens, I would say that's pretty cool to be able to stake it and earn something for just by holding on to them. So that's pretty cool. Also, Telegram CEO reveals that he has some Bitcoin and some Ton coin. There used to be another Ton coin that actually was part of the Telegram team that actually created it, but now this new one has no association. But he still has it. Telegram is huge. Everyone's jumping on Telegram. You either have like WhatsApp or Telegram, right? But yeah, I mean, we just don't know. Some of these billionaires, they say they have some. What is that some? Could be $1 billion worth. We don't know, right? We think that Michael Saylor has like the most Bitcoins out there. That's simply not true. There's a lot of wallets that have a ton of Bitcoin in them, and we have no clue who they belong to. These billionaires may be stocking up. Maybe they have been stocking up. We don't know, right? Again, going back to the scarcity thing I just mentioned. Bitcoin is so scarce. People just don't realize it yet. They just don't. If they do, everyone be FOMOing in at all times, but not quite there yet. XRP, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, still doing very well. Futures interest is record high for 2023. No surprise. It's hovering right around 80 cents. And I talked a lot about XRP, and there's just a lot of enthusiasm. That's really it. There's no new news besides this monumental case where it was decided that the XRP token is not a security. So it's really that simple, right? Correction, not token coin. But yeah, I mean, this overall is pretty good. What else? BNB burns, or the chain burns $500 million worth of BNB. That's an enormous amount. People don't realize that BNB has this burn mechanism. So the more usage, the more it burns every single quarter until it burns off half of the supply. So one of the things that makes BNB very deflationary. And it's not just the chain volume, it's also the exchange volume too. So the more volume Binance.com has, it adds to the burning pressure. So that just happened. And Cardano welcomes a dApp called Spectrum Finance, which helps dApps become cross-chain, or yeah, it helps them be cross-chain. So right now it's between Ergo and Cardano, it seems like, but I'm sure they're working on other things, right? That is pretty good for Cardano as well. And then lastly, I saw this. A dormant pre-mined Ethereum worth 116 million, okay, 61,216 ETH, bought 8 years ago, has just come to life. Don't know why now, but yeah. Again, shows you the power of DCAing and holding, okay? Or getting in early, whatever. But basically, someone that pre-mined Ethereum very, very early on, 61,000 worth, okay? Well, they're going to do something with it. They're going to do something with it after 8 years. Imagine holding on over $100 million, and during peak, this will be even more, 200, 300 million. Imagine holding 300 million of crypto and not touching it, not even moving one ETH out of it and spending it. I mean, that takes a lot of willpower. A lot of willpower if you think about it. All right, that is pretty much it. Hey, things are moving upwards. Oh man, look at Coinbase. Coinbase up 5%. You know, Coinbase is so hot, right up 6%. Today's looking like it's going to be a good day. And US market, let's refresh in the green again. Money is starting to flow back in, guys. This is a fantastic period, but let's not forget that this is barely the start of it. Okay, we have just hit a new bull market. There's $8 trillion worth of money sitting on the sidelines waiting to enter. And just even in crypto alone, if you add up the two stable coins, that's $100 billion sitting on the sideline just in crypto. Forget the 8 trillion that's waiting to come in. We have 100 billion that's just sitting there waiting to enter, right? So good days are coming. All right, let's do some Q&A. T will ask very early on, what do you think about EDX, the new bankers sex? I don't know what I think about it. It's another way. It's another way for institutions to get involved. Okay, that's really it. I don't have any other opinion about it. I just see all the institutions FOMOing. EDX is created by, I think, Schwab, Fidelity, and 3 other banks or something like that. Basically, you know, they're all trying to get involved one way or another. To either come out their own fund, or they're holding Bitcoin on their balance sheet, or offering services like exchange or custody service, right? So they're all trying to get involved. So how I look at it is, during this next bull run, the parabolic phase, when people are really FOMOing, and it won't just be retail investors, it'll be institutions, it just makes it easier for them to get involved, right? Easier for them to put money in. Let's see. Do you think XRP can reach $5 this bull run? Wow, that would be crazy. I wouldn't put it past them. Even though, oops, I just fell in my chair. Even though I think it's a far stretch from where they are right now, 80 cents to $5. But, you know, their peak was around $4. It was like $3.80 or something. So they were close to $4. So to get back to their previous high and surpass it a little bit to 5, can that happen? I mean, yes, it could happen. Can it happen that they go up 10x to $8? There's a really, really sliver of a chance. But again, with institutions FOMOing in, okay, with all these different on-ramps for them to get in, and when trillions truly come into this space, you know, who knows? Who knows where things will be, right? It could go really crazy, really fast. How bullish on Cardano versus Quant? You know, a lot of people keep asking about Quant. I've been saying this. I don't like Quant. It's not for me. It's a B2B play. They don't really cater to consumers. So I never say I'm bullish on Quant ever. Cardano, yes. Yes, I am. $68 for XRP. Someone said 7 for sure. Yeah, I think, you know, it's going to be between that 4 to 8 range. But more likely, probably 4 to 5 would be realistic. But, you know, with FOMO, who knows where things will go. Do you think XRP is a better hold than ETH? No, I don't. I think right now, everyone's, excited about XRP. But people overlook Ethereum. And Ethereum, when it moves, it really does too. Ethereum is the second largest, okay? There's a reason for that. And they will continue to lead the way in terms of smart contracts, in terms of tokens and NFT standards, and new dApps that support the two. I mean, I think they're both important to hold. SoCal Crypto. Vegas NFT is only for Vegas. It's stated in the description. It wouldn't be fair for everyone else that actually purchased the one-on-one NFTs, right, to have the same benefits as the event NFTs. So it's only going to be Vegas. But it's going to be very rare because whatever sells, sells, and that's it. There's no more. Tesla moving up today. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Tesla also because they're reporting. But right now, Coinbase, Riot are both doing pretty good. Let's see. Tesla up barely 1%. But I think they're going to have a really good quarter. They already blew past their delivery estimates. And I'm waiting for my Cybertruck. I want my Cybertruck to come in. Every time I play my educational Ripple video or XRP video, it pumps up XRP. That's why I don't show it very much because, you know, if I show it too much, it's going to drive it up to that $4 in no time. And I know people want time to accumulate. What do you like about a Cybertruck? I like the fact that it looks very different from all other trucks out there. It doesn't matter like what F-150 you have. They all look the same. Same thing with Rams and Silverados. Unless you get the extreme versions, they all look the same, right? To have a different type of truck out there, and I think the Cybertruck actually looks pretty cool. I don't know how the interior is. I don't know how it's going to drive. So I don't. And I don't know if it's capable of towing 10,000 pounds or 15,000 pounds. Those things doesn't matter to me because I'm never going to tow 15,000 pounds, okay? I just want something that looks cool and drives well, and that's it. And then I don't have to worry about it getting scratched or dented or whatever. Let's just put this up here. Where's that adoption curve chart? Yeah. Bitcoin's adoption barely started. Look at that. Look at that versus everything else. The EV Hummer is the real Cybertruck. Everything I've heard about that Hummer is garbage, so I'm going to say no. It's so heavy, in fact, that you can't legally drive it in most roads, because most roads have like a 10,000 pound weight limit, and somehow that car weighs more than that with its crazy amount of batteries in there. I mean, that's GM's attempt to try to create a EV SUV, and they failed. No one is buying. You know, that reminds me, I put $1,000 down for that. I don't know what happened to my deposit. I got to see if I can get it back, because I am not going to be buying an EV Hummer. But I totally forgot I put a deposit down. Yeah, it's been years. Yeah, I got to go see if I can get it. How do you decide if a coin could go from 2 cents to 20 cents or 2 cents to $1 in market cap? You know, the best way to look at it is you compare it to peers. Okay, you look at something like, well, if Cardano is at 11 billion market cap and it's 31 cents, for example, right? You got to be realistic about gains. Can Cardano go from 31 cents to $30,000? The answer is no, because that would put it into like a crazy market cap that can't happen. But can Cardano go up to, say, 80 cents, right? Yeah, because it's realistic. The market cap is realistic. And if you've been in this space long enough, you know that moving a 10x in a bull run is very easy, okay? But, you know, some people like some XRP fans will say, well, XRP is going $589. That's not possible. That's not ever going to happen. So, you know, so you have to kind of correlate to its peers and also just take into account what has happened in previous runs. Will you ever sell your bags and go back to IT business? No, that's a silly question. That's like... Why would I ever do that? If I sell my bags, it's because I've made enough and that's it. I'm just going to retire forever. Why would I go back to the IT business? Unless I want to create something and create a business, right? Because I'm so damn bored, maybe. But I don't know if that's what you're asking, or go back to like being a system architect. There's no way in hell I would ever do that. Yeah, bullish Brady. It's like if you ask Saylor if he's going to go back and work at McDonald's once he's sold his bag of Bitcoin. It's not as bad as that, but, you know, you guys get my point. Well, Bitcoin's back above 30,000, so that's good. Overall, today's a pretty good day. Today's a good recovery day. I have no idea what I'll be having for lunch today. 71,000 Bitcoins added within the last 3 weeks. Hopefully, a lot of you guys have been too. I feel like there's too many people that just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and then, you know, it's too late. Every single cycle you hear the same thing. Like, oh, I could have bought at this price, or oh, I could have bought at this price. I used to have a coworker that told me, oh, I could have bought Bitcoin when it was like $30, right? And at the time when we were talking, I think, you know, this was a while ago. I think Bitcoin was like under 1,000. Under that 6,000 range. I think it was like 3,000 or 4,000. And I'm like, okay, you missed out on $30 Bitcoin. Don't miss out on 3,000 Bitcoin. And of course he's like, no, it's too high. You know, I'm not gonna buy at 3,000 when I could have bought at $30. Well, now Bitcoin's at 30,000, right? I bet if I asked him again, he could have, you know, he would say like, oh yeah, you're right. I could have bought at 3,000. But again, I didn't buy because I could have bought at 30,000. It doesn't matter what you could have bought it at, right? Like just do it, or you just go miss out. You know, that's always a frustrating thing when you talk to people that just you can't convince them. And that's why I've stopped trying. But they'll always come up with an excuse like, I can't get myself to buy when it was this low. Like, that's the past, man. Okay, you're living in the present. You gotta focus on the future, not focus on the past. If you focus on the past, then you're living in the past and you never go anywhere in the future, right? Anyways, I think that's it for today. We got a good day today. Bitcoin keeps getting better and stronger. It's going to cross this SMA 100, which is very bullish. XRP is still doing well. BlackRock is still getting involved. And you got a lot of good movers today. Coinbase and Riot and Mara all doing fantastic. So today's a good day. Good day. And it could be even better when you tune in tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.